Okay, in this video, I'm going to be doing a Strat-O-Matic breakdown on the 1989 Oakland A's, who won my 1980 Strat-O-Matic tournament. If you saw those videos, you'd remember that the 1989 A's defeated the 83 Orioles and the 85 Royals on the American League side, and then in the championship round, they defeated the 1986 New York Mets. Basically, when I break down Strat-O-Matic teams, I break them down into four basic categories. Number one, I look at the overall offense. Number two, I look at the defense. And then number three, starting pitching. And number four, relief pitching. So let me first get into the Oakland A's offensively. I put a lot of onus on base percentage. I'm a big traffic guy. I'm a big get them on, get them over, get them in. And the 1989 A's probably have one of the best 1-2 tandems as far as the top of the lineup. First, I'm going to break down Ricky Henderson. See on his card against left-handed hitting, he basically has 16 chances to reach base out of 33. So basically, if you roll Ricky Henderson's card against left-handed pitching, you have almost a 50% chance of him reaching base. Carney Lansford against left-handed pitching, you have a chance of reaching base 21 out of 33 chances if you roll his card, which is well over 50%. So that is just absolutely terrific. And if you could get that at the top of your lineup, that is really a big advantage. And then you look at Carney Lansford against right-handed pitching. It's not as over the top as it is against lefties. However, he does have a chance to reach base 14 times out of 33 options when you roll the card. So you got tremendous 1-2 punch of Ricky Henderson and Carney Lansford. And all you have to do is go back and look at my video of my 1980 Strat-O-Matic tournament final when I played the 1989 A's against the 1986 Mets, and just go back and look at what Ricky Henderson and Carney Lansford did to the Mets in that series. And of course, it's also a plus that both of them are double A stealing, which gives you a lot of options to move runners along via the stolen base. The next thing I look at in an offense is I basically look at the 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters, and I kind of say, okay, how good are they at advancing runners? How good are they at making their hits count? I'm not a big believer in your 3, 4 hitters drawing a lot of walks, things like that. I want guys who make their hits count. And what I do is I look at basically runner advancement of 2 bases or more. How many chances do you have on that guy's card to advance any base runner 2 or more bases? And the first guy I'm going to break down is Jose Canseco. Versus left-handed pitching, he has 7 rolls on his card versus left-handers. He has 7 rolls on his card out of 33 chances to advance runners 2 bases, and against right-handed pitching has 8 chances out of 33. Those numbers are good, not great, but I would say that's basically the minimum of what you want out of someone who is hitting in the middle of your order. And then I look at Dave Parker, who plays against right-handed pitching. He has a 7 out of 33 chance of advancing runners 2 bases or more. And then you look at Mark McGwire versus left-handed pitching, 6 chances out of 33, and against right-handed pitching, he has 7 chances out of 33. Now, you'll see in future videos I'm going to do, you're going to see 3, 4 hitters who actually get up into double figures when it comes to those hits that advance runners 2 bases. But I would say the 1989 A's, when they face right-handed pitching and you got 3, 4, 5, Canseco, Parker, McGwire, it's a good middle of the lineup. It's not great. I've certainly seen better, but it's good. And then you round out the lineup with guys like Dave Henderson, Ron Hassey, who plays against right-handed pitching. Against lefties, you got Terry Steinbach. Bottom of the order, you got Tony Phillips, Mike Gallego. It's a very deep lineup with no automatic outs, which is also a very big plus. So overall, the way my rating worked out for the offense is I break the offense down into 3 different categories. I do on base percentage, and then I rank the 3, 4, 5, 6 hitters, and then I look at righty-lefty mix. Basically, the versatility in the lineup, versatility on the team, pinch hitting. If you got a lefty starting and you're running your right-handed lineup out there, and then the other team brings in a righty, do you have left-handed bats to bring off the bench? That's basically what I mean by offensive versatility. So if I go from 0 to 5, with 0 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, the way I break down the 1989 Oakland A's offense is this. As far as on base percentage, they get a 5. The middle of the lineup, 3, 4, 5 hitters, they get a 4. And as far as offensive versatility, they get a 5. And I'm very big on offensive depth or offensive versatility. Again, like I said, no automatic outs. So the way the offense averages out is they get a 4.6 out of 5, which is an excellent rating. Now I look at the defense. And the first thing I always do when I grade teams defensively in Strat-O-Matic is I just work my way up the middle of the defense. So starting with second base and shortstop. The Oakland A's had Tony Phillips at second base that year, and he was a 2 and an E13, which is an excellent, excellent rating for a second baseman. Um, I am not a believer in starting threes up the middle, and I certainly would not recommend playing fours. I would say threes you can live with a 3 so long as they have a low E rating. However, for those who have played Strat-O-Matic would know that you get 3s and 4s in the infield, it is very difficult to roll the 20-sided die and it come up a ground ball A, which is a double play. You get a lot of ground ball Bs, you get a lot of ground ball Cs, and certainly if you have a 4 up the middle, you have a pretty good chance of actually rolling a hit, which you certainly don't want. So Tony Phillips, 2E13 at second base, is really one of the better ratings that you could overall have as a second baseman. Mike Gallego at shortstop, he is rated as a 2. His E rating is a little bit high, and if Gallego was like a 3 or a 4, I would say he was a bad defensive player. But the fact that he's a 2 and an E28 makes it very livable, especially when you consider that his backup, Walt Weiss, that year was a 3 and an E33. That's not a good defensive rating. And then I go to the outfield. Center field, Dave Henderson. He is a 3 and an E10. I'm not crazy about the 3, and I'm certainly not crazy about the E10. However, neither a 3 or an E10 is going to kill you. I would say the center field defense is just so-so. However, when you look at the overall outfield defense for the 1989 A's, you got Ricky Henderson, who is a 2 in left and an E5, and Jose Canseco in right field, who is a 3 and an E9. Now, again, I'm not crazy about 3s in the outfield, and the E9, again, that's a little bit high. But when you look at the overall outfield defense, you're basically averaging a 3 and an E8 between the 3 positions, which is really not that bad. Again, I've certainly seen better defenses, but this defense is not going to kill you. And then you look at the corner defense. You got Mark McGwire at first, who's a 3 and an E7, and you got Carney Lansford at third, who is a 2 and an E17. I would grade Carney Lansford as an excellent second baseman. The 2 and especially the E17. For those who have played Strat-O-Matic would know that the corner infield position spots, really it's the E rating, which is a lot more important than it is the actual overall grade at defense, because the splits are so high when you have first base and third base. So the fact that Mark McGwire is only an E7, that is excellent, and Carney Lansford's E17 rating is excellent as well. So as I look at the defense, basically break it down among infield, outfield, and overall E ratings. And my overall defensive rating for the 1989 A's comes out as a 4.3 out of 5, which is very good. The reason why they score so high is because I like the overall E ratings on this team between the outfield and the defense. Now, it doesn't mean that the 1989 A's don't have, I wouldn't call them holes in the field, but I would say they certainly have a couple defensive players where if a ball is hit to right or a ball is hit to center, There is a chance if you roll like a 1 through 6 on a 20-sided die, it's going to be a hit. However, what overall put the 1989 A's to get them to a 4.3 rating out of 5 defensively is because I really do like the E ratings on this team. When you factor in what you got at second base, first base, third base, left field, Jose Canseco's E rating's not that bad either. I gave them an overall defensive rating of a 4.3. Now, as we break down the starting pitchers, first, let's take a look at the ace, Dave Stewart. As you look at Dave Stewart's card, you're going to see if you roll his card against left-handed hitters, basically you have a chance of reaching base 11 out of 33 rolls, which overall is a pretty good percentage for a pitcher. And then against right-handed batting, you have 10 chances out of 33 to reach base. Now, I'm not including the point of weakness hits in this. That is a separate issue as far as I'm concerned. I'm just looking at this from a pre-point of weakness standpoint. So as you could tell, Dave Stewart's card, the reason why I like the card and it's a very solid card for an ace to have is that it's not tilted one way or the other. Like, for example, some pitchers will have like really good cards against one side of the plate and then against the other side there's a discernible weakness. I don't see that on Dave Stewart's card. So as far as the ace goes, Dave Stewart, legitimate ace for the 1989 Oakland A's. And then I look at Bob Welch. Bob Welch, who had a huge year in 1989. If you roll his card against left-handed batters, 9 chances out of 33 to reach base. And against right-handed batters, 10 out of 33. So you could see he actually has a better card when it comes to putting runners on base than actually Dave Stewart had. And then you look at Mike Moore. Mike Moore against lefties, 9 chances out of 33. Against righties, 10 chances out of 33. So you could see that the Oakland A's top 3 pitchers basically have very similar cards. And I'm really big on starting pitching depth. First, you got to have a legitimate ace. Then, how do your number 2 and number 3 starters look behind them? And basically, based off of their cards, you can make an argument that either one of these 3 is the team's ace. So as far as starting pitching goes, I break starting pitching down into 2 separate categories. Number 1, I rate the ace, 0 to 5. I give Dave Stewart's card overall a 4. And then I look at the 2-3 starters, and then also 4-5. How deep is your starting rotation? Well, based off of Moore and Welch's card, and then you also throw in Storm Davis's card, I definitely give the starters a 4. So overall, I give the Oakland A's starting pitching an overall rating of a 4 out of 5. And finally, let's look at the bullpen. I break the bullpen down into 2 different categories. Number 1, I just look at the closer. And then I look at bullpen depth, bullpen versatility. How good are you at matching up against right-handed, left-handed batters? How many innings can your bullpen eat up if you're in a shootout and you're in a high-scoring game? Well, let's break down the 1989 A's bullpen right now. First, let's look at Dennis Eckersley. You could see against left-handers, against left-handed batting, you have 7 chances out of 33 to reach base. And then you look at right-handed batting, 0 chances out of 33 to reach base, which is pretty incredible. But I have seen that a couple of times in Strat-O-Matic. I mean, it's rare, but when you see it, it's pretty incredible. But as we all know, it's not just about the closer. You have to sometimes get to the closer. And then let's take a look at one of the setup men, Jim Corsi, right-handed pitcher, who against left-handed batters, you only have 2 chances out of 33 to reach base, which is excellent. And then against right-handed batters, 7 chances out of 33 to reach base. Those are both incredible percentages. And then you look at the lefty arms out of the bullpen. Matt Young, you want to match him up against a left-handed batter? You only have 9 chances out of 33 if you roll his card. Whereas opposed to right-handed batters, you have 14 opportunities out of 33 chances to reach base against Matt Young. Another lefty out of the pen is Rick Honeycutt. This is a very, very solid card, as against lefties and righties, you have 7 chances out of 33 to reach base. So overall, between the closer and the bullpen depth, the Oakland A's obviously get a 5 out of 5 in the bullpen. So my overall rating for the 1989 A's, 4.5 out of 5, which means this is an excellent team. And if you saw my video, you saw me rave about how good the 1989 A's were. It's a team that you definitely do not want to fall behind against, because the starting pitching is very good and the bullpen is completely lights out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing more team breakdowns. My next breakdown will be on the 1986 New York Mets. Have a good day, everybody.